hideous creature.
Hey guys, HideousZ here with another game review. We're looking at Blitzcrank support in Silver 4. In this video, I'll talk about creating plays instead of waiting for them to fall into your lap, the horrific tragedy of tunneling on kills. And at the end of the video, I'll talk for a bit about pros and cons of filling in ranked. Thanks for checking out this video. Let's jump in. So, a lot of what happens early on here is poor positioning. You're up against kind of a cheese lane, right? So you've got a Lulu 80 carry, I guess, and Lux sort of support, although not really because she's Doran's. So this is a cheese lane, and the thing that they both have in common is that they both have AoE skill shots, right? Lulu has her Glitter Lance, and Lux has her everything, and so both of them are going to be doing damage in an area, and you and Vayne end up spending a lot of time standing right next to each other, right next to your minions, which makes it just the easiest thing in the world for both of them to hit all of you. Like, if Lulu wants to last hit, not only can she last hit, but she can last hit you and hit Vayne at the same time, several times in this lane, and kind of same thing with Lux. So you got to be able to recognize what your opposing lane wants to do and react accordingly. In this case, they would love it if you would group up so that they can hit you with their spells and get maximum impact for each spell cast, right? They can hit everybody, so don't do it. Split up. Get in the brush. Leave Vayne out here, you get in the brush. Make sure that they know that they aren't able to just run up and cast their spells. Or stand over here and, just separate, basically. Force them to make a decision. Are they going to last hit, or are they going to try to harass you? Move around. You can use the minions to block some things, but most of their stuff doesn't matter if it's behind minions. Actually, all of it. No, so you can't use the minions to block anything. So yeah, there's no point in standing behind your minions. It won't help you at all. It's just their damage goes through it. So stand to the side, stand away, make them choose. Another thing with Blitzcrank in particular, there's two really common mistakes that Blitzcrank players I see make with their hook. One is that they just kind of throw hooks out just to throw them out, like that one. Like, yeah, Lulu was available for a second, but if you really wanted to hit that hook, then you should have set it up a few seconds ahead of time, because you could see where she was, you could see the minion was about to go down. You could have positioned to make that a lot easier to hit. So they throw them out just to throw them out, just because the hook is up and they see one that might make it. You're going for the Hail Mary, the really big play, or whatever. It's kind of the same thing with Thresh players and Death Sentence and stuff. The other type of Thresh mistake that people make, and I don't know if you make this one yet, I've yet to see, we'll see, but is where they go out and they see a hook that they can land, and they know they're going to land it, and so they just hook, no matter what. If they can land the hook, they're going to hook. No matter if you're here and you're landing the hook here and your team is up here. you got the hook. Incredible Blitzcrank mechanics, zero map awareness. So we'll see how you do with that. Right now, there's been a few times already where you haven't really used your hook in the most effective place possible. So that's a good one, right? You put yourself in turret range, you saw Lux coming up, you cast the hook out, and you got her, and she ends up dying. That's good. And then you guys kind of end up messing it up. So right now, as a support, you want to remember that your wards, whether it's your trinket wards or your sight zone, is just as much of a weapon as anything else in your kit. Vision is power. So what does Lulu likely want to do right now? She can't win this 2v1. She needs to run. So where's she gonna go? She wants to hide in this brush. What's the brush give her? It gives her concealment. There's vision denial. What do you have in your kit right here that's going to completely take that away? A ward. You know she's going to head there, especially when she turns around and starts hitting there. Just throw a ward. Just throw the ward in there. If you do that, Vayne kills her right here, instead of having to chase her all the way up here. If you have a ward here, she does not get away here. And then at this point, by the way, this is a mistake. She's already burned her flash and her heal, and she's losing out on all this CS. At this point, you guys are giving up more than you're gaining. If you get this kill, yeah, you get 300 gold or whatever, but you pretty much have to recall. Even if you don't end up dying, which obviously you do, which makes this completely even. It's not you don't have an advantage in this lane anymore. It's even. Once Lulu burns her summoners, just give it up. She's earned it. She's gotten away. You've caused her to burn those. Just go back and CS. Now that Lulu has to leave lane because she's low and has no summoners, and Lux is dead for a little while, you guys have an opportunity to just free farm for a while and establish a really solid lane advantage. And then Vayne can go back and buy an item, and you guys win from here on out. Okay, so this is another example of kind of the same mistake. You sort of just throw out this hook here in a second. And there it is. Okay, so you throw out the hook and it misses because Lulu was probably baiting that. You can tell because she was standing right beside a minion and she's waiting for the animation to start, and then she just moves. So she's putting herself in a position that looks like she's hookable, and then she just moves. You're not setting up your hooks, you're waiting for them to come to you. And sometimes the hooks do come to you, but you also need to be setting them up. You need to be putting yourself in a position where you know what's going to happen in a few seconds. You can see how the minions are going, you can see what their position is like, and you can put yourself in a place where you can set up unmissable hooks. So in this case, for example, they're pushing up. They have no minion coverage here. You guys just won. You have an item advantage. Why don't you just walk up into the brush? Right? What are they going to do? They have to back off. You walk up into the brush, and then you kind of duck. If they don't back off, then you duck over here and you knock up Lux or Lulu. Vayne follows up, and then if they run, then you hook whoever runs, and you end up getting at least one kill. So, you know, set yourself up. Don't just wait for the hooks to come to you. Make them happen. Okay, so anyway, so you missed that hook. And then shenanigans happen. So you're landing, you get caught. Okay, there you land a hook. That kind of hook kind of came to you as well, but you landed that one, so it's okay. And then again, at this point, now it's too far. Now it's too far. You've already forced them out. Lulu has to leave. You've won. Like, you didn't win as hard as you wanted to, but you burned a summoner spell. They spent exhaust on you. Lulu has to leave. This is a victory. Stop giving away your victories. You got to recognize when you've already won. If they have to leave, that's almost as good as getting a kill. Now you go back and you get a CS lead. Instead, you're doing this. You give up a lot of health. Like, are you going to be able to kill Lux? No, there's no chance. The wave is coming. She has too much health. Lulu is going to hide. All you're doing right now is giving them time to recover. And now you're way out of position because Vayne is not in position to help you here at all. So basically, it seems like what's happening is that you're not remembering that League is that winning lane is about being ahead in gold. It's not about being ahead in kills. Even if this was 0-0 and you didn't have any kills yet, but you were still ahead in CS, you're winning the lane because you're ahead in gold. However you can get ahead in gold is how you win this, and then you transition that into items and you transition that into map victory. So it doesn't matter if you get kills, as long as you are getting ahead in gold. Kills are a nice bonus, but you don't want to chase them down and tunnel on them to the exclusion of just doing, winning the lane in the solid fundamental way by getting last hits and by zoning them out and by making sure that you are the one that has a more consistent, steady income than them. Last hitting and CSing and that stuff, I compare that to like your day job. That's your 8 to 5. You go, you work, you get your paycheck. It's a sure thing as long as you don't just totally screw it up, right? Kills are your Christmas bonus. They come every now and again. They're really nice. They really are a nice shot in the arm, but they're not how you get your income. They're a bonus. They're icing on the cake. This is your bonus, or this is your day job. This is your cake. These are your icing. These are your bonuses. Do not tunnel on these at the expense of this, or you'll end up having what's happened a couple of times now. You've overextended to try to secure a kill that was really risky and iffy, and it ends up throwing away the advantage that you actually had created at the start of the fight. Okay, I'm going to point out a couple of more just positioning and just mindset errors, honestly, because this is kind of the story of this lane. So again, we have a situation here where you are playing Blitzcrank just waiting for the plays to come to you. In this situation, why are you in the brush here? What are you doing here? Like, even if they think that you're at this corner and you're maxed, the farthest you could be to create pressure, they're totally safe. There's nothing that you could do from that angle that would threaten them, so they don't have to worry about you. You might as well be back in fountain in this brush. You are not making something happen. You're waiting for them to do something really stupid, like wander over here while you might be in the brush. So they have no pressure from you, and so they're free to just totally aggress on Vayne. So they aggress on Vayne, and you respond. You do land this hook, but again, you didn't create this hook, they gave it to you. And then, you know, they end up winning the trade overall because they're ahead in levels. So, in this situation, let's look at what could have happened. So, you guys are low, first of all, and you know that they're ahead. At least Lux has a level advantage. So right now, you do not want to be pushing this lane. They have all the advantages in terms of this, because they have a lot of crowd control, they have a lot of long-range spells. You guys are in a really bad way to begin with. Your only advantage is your turret, and you, because you have a hook that can pull somebody into turret range. That's really the only thing that they have to worry about right now. Vayne is ahead, technically, but it's going to be they can play this safe enough that negates her strength right now, pretty much. So if they really screw up, maybe, but they haven't really been making horrible mistakes, at least not at this, as long as Vayne has also been making horrible mistakes, I guess. So it hasn't, you know, really balanced out in your favor. So right now, you do not want to be pushing their way. You want them to push this way so that you can be a little bit safer under your turret, and they have to at least worry about the fact that you might hook them under the turret. So right now, you want to be telling that to Vayne and pinging her back. Let them push. Let them push. Then again, I already pointed this out. Why are you here? You do not want to be here. You want to be up in this wave where they can't hit you with a hook, or not in the wave, but on this side of it. You want to be here. You want to force them to switch sides. Be up here. Don't let them CS and and harass and push the wave while damaging you. Make them choose. Put yourself in a position where if you hooked, they would be in a negative position. So if you were, let's see, instead of being in the brush like you are right now, if you were standing here, then you're here and you're creating pressure for Vayne because you're ahead of Vayne, right? So Vayne has a little bit of this breathing room, this buffer where she can CS a bit because you're in front of her, creating this zone of pressure. If you hook somebody from here, let's say that Lux is, basically where she is right now, and if you see a hook and you take it and you pull her here, what can Vayne do? Right? You're going to knock her, you're going to pull Lux in and then knock her up probably. So there's going to be about a second overall, maybe a little bit more for Vayne to respond to this. Vayne, hopefully, if she's paying attention, then Vayne tumbles and condemns. Lux is stunned, and that's probably a kill. Between the two of you, that's probably a kill. Because Lux is going to be chain CC'd. Vayne can get off one auto attack, tumble, condemn, auto attack, auto attack. That is probably a kill. At least they're on the back foot. Lulu does not have her ult yet, so she can't save her. At least you've won a significant trade. That's the kind of thing that you can set yourself up for. So rather than just being over here, in the brush waiting for something to happen to you, put yourself in a position to maximize the danger potential. You have your hook. You need to put yourself in a position where if you land it, they're toast as much as possible. In a big picture right now, that means letting the lane push the turret. In a small picture, that means putting yourself in a place where they at least need to worry about the potential of what might happen if you land that thing. Because right now they're just free to do whatever they want. Alright, another quick deal here. You land a great hook here. This is a good spot. You pull her into a position where she can't do anything but die. And that's awesome. And then you back off wisely. Lux, you need to be aware of that. You kind of lined yourself up to where Lux could hit all three people with her ult. And this is the obvious escape path, so I probably would have ran up into river. So you just need to be aware of that kind of thing. Of what she's probably likely wanting to do. And then I just wanted to show this because this is another example of people throwing away the advantage that they've created. And this is obviously not your mistake, but I just want you to be aware of it because it's the kind of thing I see people in low silver and bronze doing all the time. So you guys got a kill. Lux managed to pick up a kill in return, which is unfortunate. You could have avoided that. But now, again, you're in a position where Lux is low, or they're in a position where Lux is low. She just used her ult. She's kind of on her back foot. There's no pressure anywhere else. They've got all this CS. This is a pretty good position to just farm this wave, maybe pressure the turret, maybe get some vision up in their jungle. Who knows, but at least you can keep Lux busy so that these guys can keep doing their thing in the other lanes, right? Nope. Nope, not going to do that. Instead, we're going to turret dive a Lux. And now all of our health is gone. Warwick barely survives. Vayne has to recall now. So now we have no pressure, and Lux doesn't have to do anything. Lux can actually turn this around now. Because now Lux actually has all the advantages. They have to leave. She can farm, shove this wave, probably get this turret, honestly. And you've created you've created nothing for these people to have to worry about. They can focus completely on just forcing Ahri and Trundle away. Jumping forward a bit, this is good what you're doing right now. Moving into their jungle, getting vision down. I like that a lot. Stealing the blue buff is risky. The only people you have vision on are Renekton and Fizz right now. I guess you had vision on their bot lane, but they left. I think you did. But regardless, you either didn't have vision of them at all, so you didn't know where they were, or you saw that they were bot, and then they disappeared. And, like, it's just dangerous. You don't know if they don't have a ward here. So that's fascinating. It was risky to take the blue buff in the first place, and then you kind of got away with it, right? You picked up a kill, Lux had an aneurysm or something, and you guys picked up a kill and the blue buff. Now, though, they're all on notice. You just did that. You just took that buff and killed their teammate, and Dragon is up, so they want to be on this side of the map anyway. And you don't have enough vision of anywhere else. Fizz is really low, I guess, so you know that. But Lux's ult is gone, but she wasn't low at all. So now here comes more tunneling. I don't know what you think is going to happen here. Like, Warwick is doing okay. You're really low, though. Bolt on mana, I mean, you only have enough mana for one rocket grab. And then you're done. And you don't have enough health to make up for that. So I'm not sure what you feel like is going to happen here. I'm pretty sure you saw Renekton coming in based on where the wave was. Maybe you didn't, but you should be aware that he's not where he was, and so you need to be aware that, you know, this is, again, it's like, what's the most interesting thing happening on the map, right? It's you. It's you guys. You guys just stole blue buff and killed Lulu. That's what's happening right now. There's nothing else going on. Ahri's dead. So that was happening, but that's what Fizz was doing. That's why he's so low. So that was, you know, that's not happening anymore. There's nothing happening top lane. Now that Ahri's dead, there's nothing happening mid lane. Dragon's up, so that's interesting. We probably should go down there. And oh my gosh, there's a flash sale on enemy teammate, you know, enemy kills here. That they're in our jungle. They're taking our buff. They're killing our Lulu. Go, 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 go. And they're going to go here because it's fascinating. It's interesting. That's where we're going to want to be. And so you guys do not want to stay there in that case. You guys want to be falling back and baiting out. If they chase you out of their jungle and into yours, then maybe you can turn when you have an advantageous situation of your own. But that's not the case. You chased into their trap. And even if this had been a good idea to move up and be aggressive, you being there is bad because you have nothing to contribute. You're low on health and you're low on mana. There's very little you bring to the table anymore. If you stick around at all, it's to hang back here and maybe pull off a hook or something to set Vayne up for a kill. You're going to pull somebody out of the main group and isolate them for Vayne. But you're not going to be up here with the main group. You don't have the resources for that. So you got to be more aware of the map. And again, you want to be setting up plays, not just chasing down the things that happen to run in front of your face. You're not just taking what falls in your lap. You are setting up the map on purpose to execute a strategy. And if something just happens to fall in your lap, you need to be really suspicious of that. Alright, so this is later on in the game. We have Renekton in the top lane pushing. His teleport is up, which you hopefully know. You know that Warwick is over here to respond to him, so it's a 4v4 on this side of the map. And that's pretty clear all the way through based on where we position. So you know that it's a 4v4 coming in. First of all, this is a terrible ward. I don't know if you placed this or who placed it. I haven't been paying attention to what ward skin you have on. So this maybe is yours. This one is okay, but it would be better to be in the brush. Put it right in the corner there so it has vision of basically the same area that it does right now, but it also gives vision of the brush. This is terrible. I don't know why you would ever put a ward here other than just like spur of the moment to get a, you know, quick vision of something. This is the better ward. Put it right here or right here in this corner. This is better in general for this situation because this ward right here gives you vision of this entrance, gives you vision of this entrance, gives you vision of this area, and gives you vision of this entrance. So all the channels that they would use to get into this lane to flank you are covered by a ward here. This ward only gives you vision of this one and this one. You don't know that Jarvan is coming here. And you wouldn't be able to see anybody that happened to be, running this way or sneaking up this way. Ari is kind of your living ward here, so she's there, so you will be able to see Jarvan. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Again, I don't know if that's your ward or not, but okay. So a couple of things here. You guys are sieging this turret. That's what this is a siege. Jarvan and Lulu have decent wave clear, but they can't really aggress on you right now. If they were to go aggressive on the three of you right now, they would lose that fight. Especially since Lux and Fizz are being zoned out pretty effectively by Ahri. So you guys have the advantage right now. Okay, so Trundle's going to go in. This is a bit of a risk, but it's probably okay, especially since Ahri is coming. But you need to remember that since Ahri is coming, these guys are going to collapse too. So you have kind of a timer that's ticking right now on your ability to do this. The one that you really want to be pecking away at this turret is Vayne. So you have a quick, brief moment where you can get some damage onto this turret while you have this wave and while these guys aren't here yet to get some damage in, and then you kind of need to fall back and reset and rinse and repeat. This is not good. This is not good. How much damage are you going to add to this turret, realistically? With your 0.67 attack speed and your your 85 attack damage. You're adding nothing to this. Like 100 damage maybe over the course of the time that you're in here. Okay? So it's pointless for you to go up and start attacking the turret. It's meaningless. What does your passive do? It automatically shocks things nearby, right? So you walking up here, if your passive goes off and hits Lulu, if she gets a little bit closer to you, then the turret starts attacking you, and all of a sudden you're in a really bad position. What is it that you want to do as Blitzcrank? You want to use your hook to pull people out of position. Where can you pull a person out of position from here? You can't. If you land a hook on Lulu or Jarvan, they don't care. They're under their turret. That's exactly where they want to be. You haven't done anything to them. You do not want to be here. You're not doing anything positive. You're putting yourself in danger because of your passive and just in general, because they could obviously just jump on you. And even if you land a great hook, it doesn't matter because they're not put in a disadvantageous position. Move over here or back here or something. So if you do hook them, you pull them into here, and then your team can actually kill them without just getting obliterated by the turret. And that's kind of what they find. I mean, it takes them a while to recognize that that's the case, but finally Jarvan goes in. For some reason, Vayne gets within melee range of Jarvan. And then you guys decide to fight this out. This is a mistake. Why are you fighting this right now? The last thing that if you get aggressed on under a turret, unless you're an assassin or something and can immediately obliterate the person that's doing that, you do not want to start attacking. Hit stop. Do not allow your character to attack. Again, you're Blitzcrank, so your passive might go off, but that just means you need to start moving away. This is bad. You attacking and doing damage gets you killed here. And yeah, you guys get the turret, and so I mean, this does work out in the end. So I'm not trying to say that you catastrophically messed up. You're just making decisions that could have been punished a lot harder, and there's no reason to do them, right? If you're not under the turret, then when Jarvan goes aggressive on Trundle, instead of you having to knock Jarvan up here and immediately start taking turret aggro, you can probably pull Jarvan completely out. And then Trundle's fine. He doesn't have to do anything. He can keep hitting the turret, and Jarvan has to find another way to get back under his turret and start doing this. Or, Trundle then just beats a retreat because they're going aggressive, but Jarvan's out here now, and Vayne can tumble and condemn him into the wall, and you guys can kill Jarvan. Right? You want to be here. Basically, the same thing probably happens. You guys get the turret and will probably win this fight, but you don't end up with you don't risk giving up a free kill for no reason. And you're able to, at the very least, continue pushing with your team. Okay, I want to quickly talk about map pressure here. So this is just going to be a very basic example of this. So right now, what's the situation? This turret is down. You guys have Vayne, Ahri is heading top but is nearby. You can see these three right here. They are interested in defending their inhibitor, and they're also going to be interested in defending this turret. Trundle is pushing this lane. He's going to get here with a double, actually 2.5 waves, I think. and he's going to be threatening that inner turret in just a few seconds. So what you want to do, oh, and you need to be aware of this big wave pushing on your bot turret. It's probably going to take this turret here in about, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. So you need to be aware of that. Not necessarily respond to it, but at least be aware of it. It's worth giving this up if you can gain more in return. Okay, so they're interested in defending this inhibitor. That's the most important thing. If they're smart, they will defend this at the cost of this. You want to create a situation where they have to choose, though. You do not want to create a situation where they can all in defend this or this. It has to be this, where they can defend this without risk of giving this up, or vice versa. They make them try to defend both. Okay, so right now you and Vayne are here. You're kind of wave clearing. Ahri is dinking around in the middle, trying to just pick off somebody to kill instead of actually pressuring a lane. Okay, so you can see that Renekton has gone top to respond to Trundle. Now, that might mean that Trundle isn't able to push to get this turret as you guys thought. But Ahri is here, so there's a good chance that maybe him and Ahri can pull something off. What is like the worst possible thing that could happen to this situation right now? With their turret and Ahri clearly looking to make a play, and you guys wanting to just give Trundle time to take this. What's like the worst possible thing that could happen? Well, these three people could go up there and help defend. Because then you would have to leave because you and Vayne can't really commit to this because of Jarvan and because it's pretty easy for them to respond. You don't have enough damage yet, or Vayne doesn't have enough damage yet to really blitz this down, to take this down before they would be able to re-rotate back to it. So them committing to the top and leaving you here isn't really as bad as it could be unless they're going to be up there for a while. So, but they might not be aware of that, and they don't want to give up any damage on this inhibitor. And as long as you're standing right here, they're probably not going to go, or at least a couple of them aren't going to go. But the second that you guys go top, they don't have to make a choice anymore. The only option is for them to go top and help defend, because you're grouping up there, so they should group up there. You didn't throw a ward behind you, so you don't know that this is happening. I don't know if you had a ward to throw. Nope, you don't. So it's just kind of dangerous. Well, you have a pink ward. So you didn't throw a ward behind you, so yeah. So they're following you, and you're going to get caught off guard here in a second. So you guys are getting totally flanked. Okay, you grab Renekton. That's good. Fizz whiffs his ult. That's also good. Here comes that flank. Lux makes a power play, and you guys have to retreat, I'm guessing, unless... Okay, so you guys win. You guys are ahead enough right now, which is the only reason that went in your favor. Because the enemy team is losing really badly. So, a couple of things here. In this situation right now, why would you go top at all? There's no reason for it. Like, worst case scenario, it takes Trundle and Ahri a little bit extra time to pick away at this turret. Like, I mean, probably the correct decision, honestly, right here, is since they've responded, is that there's really no chance of taking this, and there's really no chance of taking this. And so you guys should just back off. You guys should just go reset, or you should go threaten Baron. You know, recall, get items, spend the gold that you guys have, and then go do Baron. So staying up here in general is kind of iffy because there's not really a clear advantage that you have to push anything, and you're eventually going to lose this turret. So honestly, the most likely thing that's going to happen once it's clear that you can't take this turret because Renekton responds is probably to just leave. You can see Ahri going up, and so honestly, yeah, the worst possible thing you could do is go up there. Because the second you go up there, Vayne can't stay here anymore, and that just frees them up to respond, which is what happens. And yeah, you guys are ahead, so you win the fight. But 1,000 times better would be to either stay mid and keep threatening this, or rotate bot. If they're going to collapse top on Ahri and Trundle, let them. Let them defend this at the cost of this, right? Back off a little bit so that they don't think you're there anymore, maybe, and then they rotate top, and you just immediately rotate back and rotate bot and take this, or just immediately go back mid and take this. This is going to be more valuable. If you are threatening this, that if they are not morons, that will pull them off of defending this. They will come back and defend this, and then that again it resets, and now this is vulnerable again. So you got to be aware of what your position does, what effect that has on the enemy team. It's not just you responding to this. If you go up here, it's not going to be a 3-on-1. It's going to be, you're going to go up here, and that's going to invoke a response from this team. They're going to see it's a 3-on-1, and they're going to want to go even those odds. Is that what you want to happen? Probably not. So you shouldn't go up there. Stay here, or rotate bot and get them even further away from top. Okay, so I just want to talk about a couple of things. So basically, support, if you're going to be playing support, then you need to realize that basically as a support, your job in lane early on is to create pressure for your AD carry. You're trying to create a safe zone for your AD carry to farm, and then secondarily you're trying to set up plays. And depending on what support you're playing will kind of depend on how much emphasis each of those things has. A really defensive support like xXEric or Janna is mostly going to be worrying about creating a zone of safety for their AD carry. A very aggressive support like a Leona or Blitzcrank, honestly, is going to be looking to set up plays. Creating a safe spot for your AD carry to get ahead, whether that is in kills or gold, comes first. But when you were playing here, you were spending a lot of time just kind of being in a position that didn't have any impact on anything. You were just there, and you were waiting for them to mess up. So you need to be always asking yourself, how can I create pressure right now? Where can I put myself that they will have to respect my my hook, my abilities, my kit, whatever support you end up playing. And as Blitzcrank, you want to be under your turret. You want them to push you under your turret. You want to let them over-aggress and over-push, not giving up CS if you don't have to, but you want to be right in this pocket. You want your AD carry to freeze right here, and Vayne wants that anyway because she's weak early. So she wants to just have this nice safety of freezing the lane right here. She can farm here and has this fallback to her turret. If they over-aggress, you just run back and hook them under the turret and you get kills. You never leave this pocket. Not never. There's always exceptions, but this is your home base. You don't want to leave this. This is where your advantage is. As soon as you go out here, they have the advantage because they have all this AOE and CC. So don't go out here. This is where they win. You win here. Stay here. And you got to identify what this pocket is for whatever champion, whatever support you're playing. It's different for every one. Some supports thrive more out in the open lane. Some supports have more tools to deal with stuff out here, or to deal with people under the enemy turret, or their design, whatever the case is. Blitzcrank happens to love this spot. And also, I also pointed that one point out where you should have hooked, ran into them and created a situation where you couldn't miss your hook. Look to do that all the time. Watch really good Blitzcrank support players, which is basically almost any support player. Watch a stream, watch Aframu, watch Crepo, watch, I don't know who the other supports this stream are, but see if you can catch people doing it and watch if they play Blitzcrank, or look up some high-level Blitzcrank replays or something. Watch how they position, watch how they aggress. The other thing I just wanted to talk about in general was that you mentioned that you have taken up filling, as far as that's your position, is you call fill and you let everybody else do whatever they want, and that's fine. That is definitely a viable way to play League. It's actually probably the best way to play League if we're talking about wanting to just be the best all-around player. So because it forces you to learn every role effectively. The thing to keep in mind, though, is that that's probably, for most people, that is really, really going to slow down your advancement. And you also mentioned that you are wanting to get to gold. And so what filling ends up doing is it does, that was a fascinating set of flashes. I guess the game is over. You are going to be getting better at each thing that you play, but instead of being able to focus all your efforts on one thing and really improve that one thing quickly, you're spreading that effort out over 5 things and improving all 5 of those things slowly. And so it's not impossible for you to get to gold this next season by any stretch by filling. I wouldn't say that at all, but it is going to be harder. It's going to take longer in all likelihood. And so you just need to be aware of that. And if that's something you're willing to do, that's the way you want to get to the next level, then that's great. More power to you. But you probably, my personal recommendation would be to pick 1 or 2 things and really focus on them, especially with the new champion select coming out. that you will be able to pick a primary role and a secondary role and get one of those 100% of the time. There's also an option to fill in the new champion select that's coming, and so you still will be able to do that if you so choose. But the issue of of people not getting the role that they're good at will mostly go away. And so you will be able to pick a role and a secondary role a lot more effectively. And so the only reason really then to fill is to just kind of become that Renaissance man of League, to get good at everything, at least slowly but surely. But anyway, if you're wanting to climb, my recommendation, is to pick maybe 2 roles and pick maybe two or 3 champions in each of those roles and just really hone in on those things. Personally, I've chosen to even go further than that. I pretty much play 1 champion, and then I have a couple of backups when I can't get that champion. And I really focus in on that, and pretty much 1 champion in 1 lane, and other things a little bit, but that's where I really spend all my time learning and getting really good at. And so it just depends on how much time you have to play. If you have a ton of time to play, then sure, fill, because you will be able to put the time into each role and learn it effectively. But there's just not a lot of crossover. There's some fundamentals of the game that will follow you to no matter what role you play. But support is very different from playing AD carry, which is very different from playing a solo lane. And even the solo lanes, although those are probably the most similar, top and mid are extremely different, especially as you climb up in the ranks, in terms of what, not to say nothing of the champion pools that tend to be played there, but to what strategies you need to be employing, to the length of the lane, to the warding techniques, to the just all kinds of stuff that's just very different from getting really good at top lane versus getting really good at mid lane. And of course, jungling is a ball game all of its own. So each of these positions is probably more different than you realize, and it's easy to be okay at all of them. It's very difficult to be good at all of them, and it's extremely difficult to be amazing at all of them. Like, there's very few people in the world that can fill at a high level. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that, just so you're kind of aware of what you're committing to there, and so you're not surprised when that ends up kind of taking a long time to really show results in terms of climbing consistently. But if you decide to do it, the more power to you. It is definitely a good way to learn the game holistically. So thanks for the chance to take a look at this game. I hope this is helpful, and best of luck on the Rift.